Chapter 4. 1. The campfire flickers in the gloom. Dark night has fallen on the Changbai Ooze, a darkness that alarms the very soul, smothering reason in a veil of black. Flaring up brightly now and then, scattering gleaming sparks into the air, then huddling back against the sheltering earth, the campfire battles with a pitch-black night, a battle like the fearsome clash that took place on the paths of Paektu mountain. Oh, campfire of the partisans! The man who stares into your flames and reaches out his hands to warm them will feel his blood warmed with a will to live, the will to face the enemy and conquer. Oh, campfire of the partisans! Your merry crackling brings both faith and hope, and summons them to take the road to battle. O campfire of the partisans! You have replaced the home fire on the hearth. The warrior warms his supper on your flame, and he sleeps sweetly in the wintry night, lulled by the crackling branches of your blaze. The warriors trod the road of death to be here, destroying on their way an enemy division, and now you summon them to battles new. O campfire of the partisans! You are a beacon in the gloom of midnight. Our hope gleams in the flickering of your light. 2. Long marches leave the legs athrob with pain, and every wound is smarting sorely. And for 4 days now, none of the partisans have eaten. Yet they have fallen into slumber deep. Weariness has lulled them into sleep. But one man sits up wakeful by the fire, unheedful of the passing night. Such nights he always spends in reading, and draws strength from the words he reads, and sees the pathway to their goal more clearly. When his soul exults in triumph, he takes up his book, and in those fatal moments of dark fear, when black despair invades his heart, he takes the book out in his forest shelter. Then, when the soup pot holds a soldier's belt, and images appear before his eyes of the poor house in which he spent his childhood, beneath the mountain covered o'er with pines, and piteous scenes which he cannot dispel, then he seeks solace in his book. And even when he seems to see his mother boiling poor gruel with a mournful sigh, his saviour is the book that he keeps at his side. His thoughts are these: as yet we are but few, but we are certain of ourselves, and our assurance lights our way. In time, this light will spread across the territory of our land. With us we have the whole Korean people, but also peoples of a northern country who have raised up a mighty fortress of freedom and of justice, and they will rout the forces of aggression and of darkness. And then he thinks that soon the people that he sent to seek provisions will join them once again, that finally, at last, there will be news of his dear friend Cholhor, so long awaited. The campfire, weary from its night-long battle with the darkness, has died away, when only one man stands up calmly. It begins to dawn, says he. In the east, the golden dawn is scattering the final shreds of darkness and bringing brightness to the world once more. 3. Food arrived that morning. From somewhere people brought back to the camp 2 fat bulls that they had caught. Swiftly the camp was roused to bustling life. Without awaiting orders from their chief, the warriors fanned the campfire to a blaze and put a cutting edge upon their blaze. But at this moment, Kim Il-sung arrived and asked, "Where did you get these bulls?" "They were taken from the Japanese down at the logging camp," the junior officer reported. But Kim looked at the faces of the bulls, hung with embroidered ornaments and little coins. "Comrades, let me ask you, when did the partisans begin to plunder and to steal from their own people? Look closely at the faces of these bulls. The Japanese use no such decorations. This bull belongs to our Korean peasants, and this to Chinese brothers in our struggle." And so Kim Il-sung told his warriors that they were ordered to dispatch the bulls back to their rightful peasant owners and go once more to gather forest roots and breakfast on a porridge made of grass. The partisans sat down there in the meadow, and the well-fattened bulls wandered off slowly back home to the village, nibbling at the grass along the way. But the partisans were wondering if their deeds would bring them punishment, for they had slaughtered 1 fat bull on their way back to join the regiment. 4. The partisans have formed up in a circle, the commander standing silent in the center. The sun's rays peer timidly into the forest. The air is heavy with the threat of punishment. I ask you all, who killed the bull? No reply comes. The silence thickens. The ranks are motionless. Who killed the bull? The ranks part silently, and out steps partisan Choi Suk-jun, pale and trembling, into the circle. "Comrade Commander, I'm the one to blame." A tremor of surprise runs through the ranks. How could it be that our well-loved Suk-jun, famed for his valor in attack and in the rear, could break his oath and disobey his orders? Suk-jun stands with his eyes fixed on the ground, his face grown paler still, his voice both strained and trembling. "Comrades, for 4 days now, the men and the commander have not eaten." Then voices rang out from the ranks. "Shame on the men! We don't want his excuses. He's helped the Japanese." Suk-jun asked hoarsely, "Who has helped the Japanese?" "You have helped them, you!" "In that case, I must die." He sets the barrel of his rifle firm against his chest. "Stand to attention!" roared the voice of the commander, and all the other voices there were crushed as though beneath a sheet of iron. 5. Comrades, just as a little stream joins with the other streams to form a mighty river, So we must fuse together with the people to form a mighty river and an ocean. Our strength lies always in the people's power. Without them, we are doomed to certain failure. And then the Japanese will have their way. You have not understood this fact, Seokjun. I understand, the warrior replies, that I am guilty of a grievous crime. The punishment hill rises up before him. How shall he find the strength to climb that slope? The grass, for all its covering of frost, has probably far more life in its veins. The partisans can have no doubt at all. The punishment must be the firing squad. The heavy silence that precedes a storm. Silence, deadly silence, not a sound. Go find the owner of the bull you killed and pay him for its loss. Kim Il-sung walks slowly to his tent, and Seokjun's cheeks are flushed with scarlet red. The partisans revive to bustling life. The sun emerges from behind the clouds. The warriors' hearts are beating swift and loud in proud devotion to their wise commander. 6. For 10 days now the warriors' camp has been set out here in the mountain groves, and peasants come from distant villages. The Chinese and Koreans come, each seeking to outdo all others there in rendering assistance to the partisans. But not once in the course of these 10 days does their commander take a moment's sleep, till finally on the 11th day a messenger arrives in workers' clothes, bearing a message and a little map sent by Chol-ho. The dawn was scarcely trembling in the sky when the division set out southeast. Ahead there lay the mountain cliffs and crests, the winding, weary mountain road. But not one man allowed into his mind the thought that this road was a hard one. For even in the icy winter nights, when wolves are frozen in their dens, and birds' wings frozen solid as they fly, each partisan would gladly hear the news that they must set out southeast. Nor cold nor hunger would deter him from traveling with a light and joyful heart, the road that led him homewards. O homeward road! Both waking and in dreams, the partisans still see you there before them, and if they are not fated in this life to cross the threshold of their father's house, then may the bones of those who served their homeland find rest eternal in their native soil. O homeward road! O bitter road of battle! Lead on the warriors southeast until they cross the mighty Amnok River and reach their sacred homeland once again.